Here's what's coming up on today's show.
In the end, he ended up driving his wife nuts and ended up having to go get a job because he didn't have enough hobbies to keep busy and was literally driving his wife nuts.
Hello, this is Mark Silverman, managing member and founder of Silverman & Associates, and I'm also a certified financial planner professional. I want to welcome you to the Saving with Silverman podcast. I'm glad you're here. Each week, we'll discuss different financial planning topics because making smarter choices about your money impacts the quality of your life.
Mark, I wonder if you have any thoughts on inflation, which is something that a lot of people are talking about these days, and a lot of people worried about it. We've already seen some big signs of inflation, and doesn't seem to be any light at the end of the tunnel here.
Well, yeah, I mean, inflation's a problem, and it's a problem for everybody. You know, one of the problems is if you're sitting in too much cash, of course, you're guaranteed not to keep pace with inflation. Obviously, the stock market and bond markets have been difficult so far this year. That could change, but those are struggling as well. So it's a tough time, so you've got to make sure that you're doing all the things that you can. Inflation will come back down. It's not sustainable at these levels, hopefully sooner rather than later, but we'll have to see where things end up. But, you know, it's a challenging time for everybody. Costs are going up. You know, supply of things, it's hard to get certain items still.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, things get back to normal, if you will. But it's certainly a challenge. And if you have questions or you want some guidance on that, certainly reach out. Happy to always try to give you some advice.
Had to get a full tank of gas for the car the other night, and just had to take out a second mortgage in the house in order to pay for it. So it's getting.
Yeah, I'm just thankful now in my truck that when I go to fill up, it doesn't stop at 100. It can keep going because it's kind of frustrating when it stopped at 100. A lot of the pumps now they've extended those so it keeps going. Versus having to make 2 transactions.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to have to spend on a tank of gas. That's for sure.
It is.
Well, you know, we're talking about retirement, and we always talk about retirement, getting you to and through it. And let's talk about what retirement means, because it's different for everybody. One of the reasons that each person's retirement plan needs to be individually customized by Mark Silverman is because each person has a completely different idea of what retirement should actually look like. And I thought today on the show we could talk through a few of the common concepts that people have about retirement. And you have certainly known so many people over the years and dealt with so many people, and you have so many clients who have different ideas on this. But some people out there, I get the idea, they want to retire and they want to have nothing but fun. You know folks like that, don't you?
I do. And, you know, it's important because, you know, the cornerstone of what we do is financial planning. You know, we lead in with financial planning. Everybody should have a financial plan, in our opinion. So that's what we start with. So it should be a fun process. Not every aspect of it is, but it should be fun, especially goal setting and those sorts of things. You know, understanding what you want to do in retirement. Everybody has a different vision of retirement, but what kind of things you want to do, whether it's bucket list items or things that you've always wanted to try or do, and putting those, pen to paper, if you will, and seeing what's achievable based on where you're at and where you're going.
Yeah. You've known some folks who have retired and lived that life, but what specifically have you done and what challenges have you encountered when you're trying to help those folks?
You know, some people have more goals than others. Some people have thought about it more in depth than other people have. You know, I wish, and I tell this to everybody that we meet with, that, you know, once we set your goals down and figure out what those are at this point in time, hopefully, you know, I hope at the end of that process that I'm able to tell you, hey, you're on track, or here's some minor changes, tweaks that we can do to get you from point A to point B. The reality is that's not always the case. Sometimes people have a lot of goals, but only certain ones are achievable. So it's about choices. Obviously, the more you've saved and that sort of thing, the more options you have down the road. If you got a late start, or you're just starting to save and you want to retire soon, you might be more limited. So it's understanding what's possible and what's not. As I tell people, you're better off, if you're going to run out of money, you're better off finding out today than you are when it happens.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, we're talking about different people who have different hopes and dreams for their retirement. And some people, as we just discussed, want to have nothing but fun. They want to go, and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But some people, it's just the opposite. They want to do absolutely nothing. And I wonder if you could give us an example of a client who couldn't wait to just sit around and do nothing and be lazy. And I'm wondering if that turned out to be what they wanted to do in the long run.
You know, Ron, I don't really have anybody that just wanted to do nothing. I mean, certain people want to do more than others. But doing nothing, where you have no, goals, objectives, isn't somebody that we typically work with. Everybody has a vision. I can tell you my most successful retired clients are the ones that tell me that they're busier now than they were when they were working. And going through the process, I tell people, I'll put a plan together for your money, but you need to put a plan together for your time. I guess I can think of one time I was working with a couple, this is many years ago, and they weren't planning on retiring. Somebody offered them money for their business. They ended up selling their building and their business together. The retirement wasn't really something they had thought about, but we had done a plan for them. In the end, he ended up driving his wife nuts and ended up having to go get a job because he didn't have enough hobbies to keep busy and was literally driving his wife nuts. So he went and got another job, not for the money, but for the time, something to do to keep him busy. So that's the only time I can think of as far as doing nothing. But, we're not working with people who are looking to just quit their job and sit on the couch. That's not.
Well, I'll tell you what, there are so many people who, all of a sudden your spouse is there and you're around them all the time, and you don't want to be around them all the time doing nothing. So you got to figure out something to do with your time. That's
been the big test now with COVID, right? Everybody's staying at home together.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of divorces too, I guess, from what I gather.
We're talking about what retirement means, and it means different things to different people. Some folks out there just want to spend time with family, maybe, spending all the time with their children and grandchildren that they absolutely can, and maybe they have an elderly parent they need to take care of, and just being around family in general. I'm sure you have some folks like that.
We have both sides of that. We have, where they want to take care of their grandkids. Maybe they're helping out their children, watching the grandkids, spending a certain number of days. That's certainly something we see quite a bit. And on the other hand, we have, parents are getting elderly. Maybe one has passed. Maybe the other one's maybe moving in with them. Maybe they're building an addition, a casita, or whatever it might be, to have a parent move in. So we see that as well. So certainly nothing wrong with that. Everybody wants to be close to their family, typically, generally speaking, I guess I should say. Not always. But yeah, that's certainly part of it as well.
Another mindset is that, I'm going to keep working in one way or another. I'm going to pursue a new career, or I'm going to do this part-time, or whatever the case may be. Give us some examples of some folks like that you've worked with.
Sure. So, maybe they want to wind down their career. Maybe they want to stay in the same, maybe go back and do it at a lesser scale, less hours, if you will. Or some people want to do something totally different. I mean, I've had people just to get, if they retire earlier than Medicare, which is 65, just to get some health insurance. I've seen people go get a job at Home Depot or wherever it might be, just to kind of keep busy for a few hours and maybe get some benefits out of it as well.
Well, some folks, particularly males, their identity is so wrapped up in their job that it's really difficult to retire from it and not do anything.
It is, and it's scary. I mean, I haven't experienced that personally, but I've experienced it with my clients. So it's hard to think about what it's going to be like in retirement when you're not there. Sometimes people slow down a little bit and they're kind of semi-retired. That can kind of help transition into it. But, people going from working full-time to just stopping one day, it is scary, Even if you've done everything right, you've saved, and you know where your income's going to be coming from, there's still the unknown there. And we help try to guide clients through that.
Yeah, and some people just keep working because they don't know what else to do,
There's nothing wrong with that, too. As long as you enjoy it, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Mark, I know a lot of people out there listening to the show today may see themselves in some of these examples that we've given here and may make that phone call to your office. What happens at that point when they get in touch with you?
Sure. So really what it is, it's just an opportunity to reach out to us. You're going to call the number or text it, either one, and we will get back to you on Monday, assuming it's not a holiday. And Christine, who works with me, will give you a call and get you on my calendar. I don't pawn you off on somebody else. And we'll spend 15, 20 minutes. I'll answer any questions that you have. I really do try to help everybody. That doesn't mean that you would become a client. If we're on the same page, we can take it to the next level, and we'll explain all that beforehand and what that takes and what that looks like. But if we feel that we're a good fit for one another, both you and I, we'll talk about that. But initially on the first phone call, it really is answering any questions that you may have, whether it's, financially related, or it's about our firm or how we work, what it costs, whatever it might be. But I will try to give you some advice. Like I said, I try to help everybody that we come in contact with. But nothing happens until you reach out. And so, it's been a kind of a crazy year so far. Not kind of, it has been a very crazy year with inflation and obviously politics, war, everything else going on. And a lot of people don't know what to do. And that's really, what it's about is how should you be invested? Are you paying too much in taxes? How do you minimize taxes? If those things are things that are important to you, I encourage you to reach out and at least have a conversation.
You've been listening to the Saving with Silverman podcast. If you have any questions at all about your financial situation, please give Mark Silverman a call. Again, his number is 520-333-7601. Or go online to savingwithsilverman.com. For Mark Silverman, I'm Ron Stutz. We'll see you next time on the Saving with Silverman podcast.
The Saving with Silverman podcast is brought to you by Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, based in Tucson, Arizona. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and everywhere you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show on your favorite app today and never miss an episode. Just search for Saving with Silverman to find us, or visit savingwithsilverman.com to listen to past episodes, to contact Mark, and to learn more about how to make smarter decisions with your money.
Did you know that Mark Silverman also has a radio show? Tune in to Saving with Silverman Saturdays and Sundays at 3 p.m. on AM 790 KNST.
All matters discussed on this show are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed are solely those of Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, and staff. All topics covered are believed to be from reliable sources. However, Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, makes no representation as to its accuracy or completeness. The show shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or investment advisory services to residents of any state other than Arizona or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Fee-based financial planning and investment advisory services offered through Silverman & Associates Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Arizona. Insurance products and services are offered through Silverman & Associates, an affiliated company.